Hi, this is Kathy at inkingpaperwithkat.com. Today's project is this little pop-up box. Now, we've all seen on the internet these pop-up cards. They've been around forever. You mail them out like that, and the recipient pulls them up and there's the greeting. But I wanted to see if I could make it into a box that would hold a sweet or a treat. And what I found was I could hold one of the little Lego packets. Pop it down, and it would go out like that. And then the recipient would just pull it up. So we're going to try to make this and do it as quickly as we can today and still give you all of the directions. You can find all of the measurements for the papers on my blog at inkingpaperwithkat.com. And there is a link in the little box below. So let's get started. We need quite a bit for this. We need a piece of thick Whisper White that is 5 by 11 inches. We need another piece of thick Whisper White that is 3.5 by 9.5. We need mats for our DSP. We need one that's 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, 4 that are 1.5 by 4 3/4, 2 that are 3/4 by 4 3/4. And then DSP, we need one that's 3 by 4, 4 that are 1 by 1 1/4, 1 1/4 by 4.5, and 2 that are 1/2 inch by 4.5. So let's get started. The first thing we need to do is some scoring. We are going to score on the long side only, and we are scoring, and this is the 5 by 11. We are scoring at 1, 2 3/4. That was a bad score right there, but we'll just keep going. 5.5. Or wait, 3 3/4, 5.5, 7 1/4, and 8 1/4, and 10. So 1, 2, 3 3/4, 5.5, 7 1/4, 8 1/4, and 10. That's all the scoring on that sheet. Now take your smaller sheet, again on the long side, and we are going to score this at 4. Alright, that's all of our scoring. Before we do any folding and burnishing though, we need to make the opening for our packet to go through. And the easiest way to do that is on your scoreboard. If you start by looking at the score that's right in the middle, you need to move that to the 1/4 inch mark, and that's the mark that's just this side of the tray. So put that in, and we're going to line it up at the 1/2 inch, and we are going to score down to 4.5. Alright, now we're going to go the other direction, and we're going to line that center fold up on the 1/4 inch that is to the right of the groove where you cut. And we're going to go back in at 1/2 inch down to 4.5. Now you can take this and cut it with scissors, or you can cut it on your scoreboard. I'm just going to cut it with scissors. And now we have our opening. Alright, let's put some DSP on. Now I've gone ahead and matted most of these, mainly to save time, but I left a couple, so we'll do those, just in case there is somebody that's not sure about matting. So we're going to take snail, put it on the back, and we want to center that. Same on this piece. And we have one more piece to mat. Now obviously you would mat all of your pieces, but I didn't want you to have to sit and watch while I matted all of those pieces. Alright, so let's put this together. We need to put some snail on the back. And try not to glue them to yourself. I think I just ran out of snail, but I think we're okay for right now. So now we're just going to lay these on. You do have a white border that goes around them, so you want to allow for that. If your pattern has a direction, like I'm using the script print from the Brights collection, you need to make sure that those patterns are going in the right direction. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but I put these on the bottom. You don't have to, but I liked the way it looked better when it was folded up. Okay, let's fold and burnish. Now, because this is this thick, you want to burnish this really well. Alright, now we need to attach this piece. I gave you the wrong score measurement for this. It's not 4, it should be 4.5. Now this needs to be attached right there. Alright, now to put this together, you are going to slide this in, and you are going to use fuse or double-sided tape, something that's really strong, and you want to make sure that you run it right along the bottom and then some up on top. This, once you have it centered, you need to look at your opening, make sure you have equal distance on both sides. You want to bring that down to the very edge and adhere it. Now you're going to take more fuse and put across. I'm going to fold this over, and lay it down. And give it a good, you might want to take your bone folder, good burnish so that that holds. All right? So there's your box. Now let's put our little Lego package inside. And to do that, we just slip it in, and we need to punch 2 holes so that we can attach it with a ribbon. And we're just going to use a 1/4 inch handheld punch. Push it in as far as it'll go, line it up with the fold, punch, turn it, do the same thing. Now we're going to take a piece of ribbon. Now this is not Stampin' Up! Ribbon because I really wanted a solid colored blue ribbon, and Stampin' Up! Does not have one. And we're just going to tie it in a knot. And I'm thinking I cut that ribbon too short. Let me grab another piece of it. Okay, so this time we'll just pull it through. Pull it through. And again, I don't want a bow because I don't want to add the bulk of a bow. I just want a knot. And you could use anything. You could use baker's twine, any kind of ribbon, whatever you want. You could even use mini glue dots and hold that in place. Okay. Now we also need to add something to pull this up so that when it's all folded, and the first couple of times you do kind of have to help it go. You need something up here. So for that, what we're going to do is we are just going to make a little 1/8 inch circle hole. And we're going to use the same ribbon. You might have to help it through. Just pull it up. Take a piece of baker's twine. I like to wrap it around a couple of times. And tie it off. And we're just going to tie a knot. So let's trim our baker's twine, trim our ribbon. Okay, now what we need to do is do our stamping on this. The stamps that we are going to use is the Love You Lots, and we're going to use the little hedgehogs. So let's just take a piece of scrap paper, our hedgehogs. I'm going to stamp in soft suede because I want my little hedgehogs to be brown. And I am going to use an aqua painter. And just add a little bit of water, and it just causes that ink to run a little bit. So it kind of fills it in and makes it feel more like fur. And then ever so lightly on the body. his face. And then we are going to take some pink Pirouette and grab just a little bit of ink. And we just want to make some little cheeks. And I'm also going to use that to fill in the little flower. Alright, that's our hedgehogs done. From that same set, we are using the Love You Lots sentiment. We're going to stamp that in Pacific Point to match all of our paper. And just right under our hedgehogs. Alright, I'm going to use a 2.5-inch circle punch, which has been retired. There are new Thinlits that have come out that could be used instead. So if you don't have this punch, don't worry about it. You can get the Thinlits and still be able to get your 2.5-inch circle. Alright, let's just put a couple of accents on it. I think we'll just do one right there and one there, and I think one at the top. Because I don't want to add any more bulk, I'm not going to pop this up. We're going to actually glue it down to the paper. So run some fast fuse. On the back. Put it on where you want it. And there you go. Like I say, the first couple of times you're going to have to kind of work this up a little bit because of the bulk. But once you do, you have some cute packaging that pops up to a nice little gift. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you soon.